Some people would say it's hard. For me, it's easy to find the positives as well. Here are the positives. For half of football, a first quarter and a third quarter, you have a 7-0 game. So, as well as we've played a very good team in a long time. So what happens in a fourth quarter that made it appear so lopsided? You get 21 answered points, where 2 of those touchdowns come by way of turnovers. One in a pick six, and the other that sets up a touchdown and that gets them down in there. And then the latter where, with the whining moments of the game, we had some young guys in the game. Nevertheless, it is what it is. Those are the results of the game. But to go in and those quarters, the first or the third, and to have stops and to put together 9-play drive, 10-play drives, to position yourself to kick one through the upright and uncommonly hit one off the goalpost, but shows resemblance of, okay, all right, we can run the ball effectively, we can throw the ball effectively, we got some opportunities here where guys are open and we're connecting. Now, the ugly side of it is you can't turn the ball over 4 times and beat anybody. You watch this Marshall team play a very formidable opponent in FAU and have their way with them 30-7, and you ask, as I watched it this morning, what was the difference? Well, FAU turned it over 5 times. It's the same team that crushed Marshall a year ago. You turn it over 5 times, good things won't happen. We turned the ball over 4 times, and good things did not happen for us. But in between those other times, I thought we played hard. If our guys, again, are being pushed around and we're not competing, that's one thing. If we're competing to the best of our ability, that's another thing. And so when we're, as I alluded to on Saturday night, when we're in position to make a play, the ability to make the play, 2 things. It's technique that needs to be refined, and that falls on us. We'll get them the technique and the skill set to do it. And the other is personnel. You continue to try to put those guys in position to do so, and you continue to recruit to or develop the current personnel that you have. And so earlier you heard me talk about what was so optimistic. And so in front of me, I'll go through this with you guys very briefly. A Tedrick McGee, who did not play, a Balin Baker, who did not play, Cordell Grundy did not play, Larry Stevens did not play, Clayton Johnson did not play, Kirk Johnson did not play, Carrington Kearney did not play, TJ King did not play, Jordan Wright did not play. And these are guys that are not on the long term out for the year. I'm not talking about Carl Austin, a preseason all-conference nominee, 2-year starter. I'm not talking about Devin Boston, who was brought in to be the starter. Stanley Dye, who was our starter, who did not play because he was up on deck to play. Jalen Gilmore, who did not play, who is out for the year, of course. Frank Harris, who was going to be our starting quarterback going into the season. And, of course, that's long-term. But to see him in rehab and throwing the ball and bouncing around, that is optimistic for me because help is on the way. And it's going to happen. And I'm not talking about just the 25 that's coming. I'm talking about on our current roster. Our most dynamic, explosive player who runs 4.3 is Brett Winnigan. He didn't take a snap this year. And whether it was a kick return, a punt return, a carry, a catch, he gives us big playability. One of the things that has hindered us this year is big playability. And so to see those guys in their rehab phases and now coming to life, although we won't get them in these last 2 weeks, just to see, Brett and take off, to see Frank run and scramble and pump, and they're doing this with trainers. But just to see the movement, you said that, and I smiled. I mean, like last night, it was like, okay, we're going to be all right. The guys, we got guys. We're going to be all right. And so those guys are there. Kirk Johnson's our best slot receiver or most productive at one point in this season. He's down. And, our best return or reverse runner and guy that was emerging is Blaze Moorhead. He's down with a season-ending injury. Well, all of those guys come back. And so, I am excited about our future. I am excited about watching Jalen Haynes go in there and competing, watching Peter Gray go in there and make tackles. All of those things are on the outlook and the good things to come for our program in years to come. That's why they're able to get up and go practice and give their best effort. And so what happens, there are opportunities where people are open for touchdowns, and the catch or the throw has to happen. We took shots. We talk about big play, and whether it's this opportunity where the ball is held a little too long, that leads to an interception, or it's overthrown, or this one is taken away from us. It's the same 50-50 ball they get, and they take it. Their guy's no more open than our guy. We got guys there. They're in position. Their guys made the plays. Our guys didn't. We'll get there. Yeah, so JoJo, as I talked about before, we thought going into this game, you look at that score in the first quarter, you look at the score in the third quarter, an ability to have quarterback design runs. Although they weren't magnificent, there was a 7-yard run, an 8-yard quarterback draw. Under duress, picked up 4. Dink it off here. And those things allowed our defense to stay fresh for the most part of the game. It allowed us to get first downs for the majority of the game. And that's a big difference than three and out. Even though it's a 7-play series or a 9-play series or a 10, those things matter. It matters to the psyche. It matters to the morale. It matters to the freshness of an offense and of a defense. And so we felt we needed to have some quarterback design runs in the game, and I thought they were helpful. The thing that, and the obvious, of course, you can't turn the ball over, but we were able to move the chains at times. So when you, at 30 seconds or so, 45 seconds, whenever DJ went down, the decision, right now, we have to do what's best for the team. And so the game is no longer in the balance. And so let's give Bryce a shot here. Let's just see. And boy, did he come in and throw one. I was glad and happy for him. The team was excited. You watched the enthusiasm of our team. It wasn't he threw a touchdown and whippy, who cares? There was excitement. They ran over, they jumped on top of him because they got pride, and no one wants to be shut out. And we were down in there. We could have gone for it, to kick the field goal the time before. But come on, man. We're trying to win the game. We're trying to put our best foot forward, and we came up short. And I'm talking about the two that we put on the carpet that we didn't catch down in there. But we had opportunities, and we had guys open. It didn't happen, though. And so we got another shot. And instead of putting JoJo in for seconds in a game, let's see Bryson is in the back end of this game, and he goes in and does well. This week is totally different because Cordell Grundy is doubtful, and so now the most important thing is to win the game, and so JoJo will have to be prepared to go in to do it. And so there is no reservation of a red shirt or anything else. We have to play this season to the best of our ability. But I'd expect to see both he and Bryce. Yeah, both he and Bryce. I think we'll see how this week unfolds in a practice format. But I wouldn't be surprised if both of those guys play. With our team, this list you look at from an injury report standpoint, Don Pastucci was banged up as well, and although he's in a reserve role, he wasn't accessible to us for this game and did not participate as well. So Jordan Nordam, who had been the next guy up along with, and so a young Josh Otis goes in and played more extensive play than he had ever played this year and did well. He and Jacob Grainer, they went in there and they did well. And it was good to see that. But yeah, it's been tough keeping a consistency at the offensive line position. You know, we're talking about with the score, 21 in the fourth quarter. You take that away from the game and we convert down in there, it's a whole different conversation. You know, the score's 28-14 or something, and that's much better. But just like that, you look up and like 3 minutes, they just scored 3 touchdowns. I don't believe this, But we'll be all right. Yeah, we'll be all right. To improve, to put ourselves in a position to win, to show improvement, to continue to get better, and to be in position to try to win these games.